and get this thing going. All right, so thanks for coming, everybody. This is the Exchanging Experiences series. It's a speaking series that was born from getting to know the people in our community. We all love to go on group runs and with each other, and one of the best parts of that is seeing our friends, hearing what all these different people are doing, their races, their events. And so I thought, what better way than to just come inside, we can all sit in our normal clothes, eat and drink while we do that, not have to sweat all over everything, and hear some great stories from normal people that we spend our lives with. So that's where this idea came from. We took that idea and we presented it to Nike Trail. Aaron, Nike Trail's here. And they threw some funding behind us. Yeah. And made that possible so that we can have the food and have the drinks and have this lovely space. So the speaking series would be pretty rubbish if I had to do the questions. So we were lucky enough to come up and partner with Runners of the Bay. So that's Bridget and Mimi, and they're back here. And I'm going to have them come up and introduce themselves shortly. And today we're going to be talking with Oscar Mejorada, who's got some, I don't know much about you, Oscar, except for what I've seen from the outside. A lot of amazing feats, for sure. I'm sure we're all looking forward to hearing today, but I know you're an active member of the community, so yeah. Welcome to Oscar as well.
Thank you.
I'm going to look at my notes here because my memory's not great. We do a lot of events. This one is one that we'll run every month. The fourth Wednesday of every single month, we'll be doing it here. A different speaker, obviously, each time. So look for that. We have lots of other events. Look at our web page, our Strava, our Instagram account for those dates. So Mimi and Bridget, would you like to come on up? Thank you very much. And I'll pass it off to you.
Thank you everyone for being here. It is so fun to be live in person. We
Yes.
did this for so long and never did a live one, and then we basically asked Tony, how do you do this?
This is like maybe the fifth or sixth time we've been together in person.
Yeah, this is it. So this is a good story.
Yeah.
Do you want to, well, you introduce yourself.
Oh, hi everyone. I'm Mimi Kellogg. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. I'm Bridget Bradford, and we have been co-hosting this thing since early in the pandemic, but I'm going to let Mimi tell you how we met, and then maybe I'm going to interview Mimi for a second.
Oh my, okay. Gosh, I didn't prepare to interview you. Now I feel like I have to return the favor. Yeah, so we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary, which is exciting. Runners of the Bay, I really don't feel like I can take full credit of having like the most original idea. I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of running podcasts, and Bridget and I both spent quite a bit of time in New York City. And to be honest, I really liked listening to the Runners of NYC podcast. They haven't been doing it much lately. And I was like, we have such a vibrant community here in the Bay Area. Like, we need something like that. And no one else was starting it. So I was like, why not? Why not me? But it was also an incredibly selfish endeavor because I think that in my running life, it's been a very solo kind of activity. I left New York before the big kind of like running crew, running club boom happened, and came to the Bay Area and didn't really find, I'm down on the peninsula, and didn't really find my community. So I thought, what a great way to meet people. The idea was sort of born around the time actually of the 2020 Olympic trials, and I'm never going to qualify for the trials, so let's not kid myself here, but like I was having major FOMO. It just seemed like such an exciting experience where people were really coming together to celebrate people who achieved things beyond their wildest dreams. And I was like, I want to be part of that. I want to be part of that somehow. So then the pandemic happened, and I just kind of put this out there on Twitter, and someone responded.
Yeah. I saw her, we had been following each other literally on Strava, Instagram, and on Twitter, had never met. And I see her post on Twitter something like, thinking about starting a podcast about local runners. And I think I just replied with like, I love this idea. How can I help? I work in marketing. Like, can I be your hype woman? What can I do? and we literally met over Zoom. And the first time we like really interviewed or like talked to one another was us interviewing each other for episodes 1 and 2 of the podcast. And it was so fun. We got to ask really invasive questions. And it's been such a great way to get to know each other and to get to know the community. So that's why we're here. But we're sitting in a room with a bunch of trail runners, and neither one of us is really a trail runner.
I mean, we dabble, but like, we're not ultra runners. I love the trails. I find like really a lot of peace in the trails. I had a baby back in September, so I did a lot of hiking and spending time in nature when I was pregnant. But yes, I would say we're not at the level of the folks in this room.
Do you want to give them a little bit about like your running background?
My running background. So I started running in high school. I was a tennis player in high school, and I wasn't very good. But I figured if I could just get to every ball and outlast and annoy people enough, like I might win. And so the way that I trained for tennis was just running a couple of miles every day. And that strategy actually like kind of worked. And I was okay in high school. And if we made it to 3 sets, I knew I was going to like outlast my competitors. And just really along the way, I found such a deep love and appreciation for running. And then later in life, it became really like, you know, without going into detail and getting too kind of sentimental here, it really saved my life in a lot of ways. And I think we learn so much about ourselves when we're running. We learn so much about each other when we're running with friends, and we're able to all kind of bond over shared experiences. I feel like I've never talked about like bodily functions as much with runners and with new parents, and that's like the intersection too.
Yeah, that is true.
Bridget, how about you?
Lots of poop talk, yeah.
What's your lots of poop talk?
I ran in high school. I was a sprinter, like loved short distances, would cringe whenever the coach was like, can you run an 800? I was like, this is too long. Never ran cross country, too long. Then ran in college a little bit just to stay fit, not anything really serious. And honestly, it was like a drunk bet. We were after college, hanging out with some guys, and they were like, I bet you could never run a marathon. And I was like, really? Because I think I can. And I signed up for the SF Nike Women's Marathon. There was a lottery. Yeah. But those medals, they were good, the Tiffany medals.
I still have one.
Yeah, I think I do too. It was the lottery. So I thought, okay, I'm going to make the bet. I'm going to sign up right here in this bar, and then I'm never going to get in. It'll be fine. But I'll get to kind of like win the bet. Sure enough, I got in and started training. And then Mimi and I talk about this a lot, but the marathon for me just clicked. I did not run well at all, but I really liked the puzzle piece of it. I was like, I think I can figure out these different elements, my nutrition, my training, the course, and get better at this. And then it just became bigger and bigger from there. And then the community just steps in, and you get locked into these amazing people, and you start running with them, and the stories, and that time to, whether you're by yourself and you just get to think with your thoughts and create space for yourself, or running with people, I've just never wanted to stop. So that's kind of a little bit about us, but we both love the trails, so we can be trail people. But we're excited to welcome Oscar Mejorada. Mejorada. I'm sorry. Mejorada.
Oops. Hi.
Welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Oh, I'm nervous, but
You're nervous?
here I am. Yes.
Don't be nervous. I
Okay.
say that, but I get nervous every time. I'm like, what stupid thing am I going to say today?
Okay.
Yeah. So let's kick off the conversation. Did you run today?
No, I didn't.
Great. What did you do instead?
I overslept. Went to work, and I was supposed to run, but overslept. Just coming back from a Boston marathon.
Okay.
I had a 60-mile week. I ended up with 64. So it's like taking a couple of days. It's like a peak week before Quicksilver. So I have an extra. This week is like 20 miles, so I can chill.
That is true. You just ran Boston, and you're about to run 100K. So I guess like it's okay that you took a rest day.
I can chill.
That's fine. We'll allow it.
I have to take advantage when I can sleep, because race day, 2 days, 3 days before, you can't even sleep.
Yeah.
You're nervous, thinking about what can I do, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to wear, what this, what that. So I have the time, so I can take a little nap here and there, or oversleep, you know.
So when the days leading up to a race, like how do you approach that differently between a Boston Marathon, thinking about what you're going to eat, where, versus, you know, 100K?
Yeah, it's different because the marathon is fast. It finishes in 3.5 hours to 4 hours versus 100K, which is like 12, 14 hours, 15 hours. You never know. You're more exposed on the elements throughout the whole day. So your intake, your calories have to be different. The speed that you run, you don't burn as quicker than a marathon. Yeah. So I go a combination of on a long distance of solids and gels. And a marathon is faster, so I do more of a gels. You know, 5 gels, 6 gels, that's it. Yeah. Long distance, I can eat bananas, I can eat watermelons, quesadillas, chicken broth, anything, you know. Goose, put some, the Martin, the commercial, Martin on my drink.
Yeah.
So for the calories, the extra calories, just in case. And I always have extra couple of bars for emergency. Never had to use them, but I always keep them. I did a big mistake in a race. I was coming up on 100K. I went to an aid station that they had quesadillas, but they were not quesadillas. They were hummus.
Oh, like pitas?
Yes. Yeah. So I buy them.
Not the same.
And the taste was not what my mind was hoping. So I threw them away, kept running 2 miles out. I was bunking until the next aid station. So I was regretting not to eat that. And I didn't have those bars. So now I keep those bars as a reminder that I don't have to make the same mistake.
What do you think that? Do you find that recovery from a marathon versus like 100K, how does your body feel in those days afterwards?
Well, the whole training that has been leading to these 2 races, I actually train like that. Like I run a long distance on road and following with a back-to-back trail run. So I was beating my body, preparing it for that. So after the Boston Marathon, I went for a run the next day, like 5 o'clock in the morning. I went to Harvard, 4 miles out, 4 miles back. And I think it helped me. You know, all the lactic acid they built up in my legs was gone. I was sore, of course, but when I came back, I was fine. When we were flying back, since you're sitting, you're not moving too much, you stiffen up. But overall, my body's been taking it well. You know, no soreness, no injuries, nothing.
That's great.
Yes.
The Boston Marathon is challenging. The course itself, the course profile. I have never been able to run the day after the Boston Marathon. I can barely get out of bed the day after the Boston Marathon, if I'm being honest. But I think that there's something about trails that probably prepares your legs better for that kind of profile. How do you think your trail training has prepared you?
You know
for
what?
Boston?
2 weeks before Boston on purpose, and that's normally what I do on every race, whether it's 100K, 50 mile, whatever distance. I always go to Mount Tam and come down the longest way, 7.5 miles down. And I try to go as fast as I can. Just be careful not to fall, but it's to beat my quads. So when they recover, they're twice as strong. So I think that helped me when I did Boston. Even if it was hard, I was still able to be okay. You know?
That was for Kati, who's going to do Boston next year, right?
Yes, write it down.
We're getting her training ready.
Yeah, so I do that for every race. You know, whatever distance I'm running, I do that on purpose, just so my legs get beat. And it's like the finishing of my training. You know, that's it. This will give me the confidence and stuff that my legs are gonna recover fine.
Yeah.
Be ready for the next day or for the next race.
Yeah.
You know, 2 weeks out.
How did you, let's go a little bit back. How did you get into running?
Well, I've been doing sports, all kinds of sports since I was little. I used to swim, I used to play volleyball, I used to do weights. I used to do martial arts and stuff like that. So the running part was always part of any sport you practice. So for example, when I was on swimming, they say 20 laps around the pool. The pool is like tiny. You don't even run like a quarter of a mile around the pool. But that was the running.
Yeah.
And then we start doing volleyball, and okay, you have to run this. So you end up running little chunks, little by little, every single time. When you're training, you warm up and stuff like that. Never. I used to go with a friend to the gym back in 2020, and my friend was like, "Yeah, let's run 5 miles," and I was like, 10 minutes is enough, like this is too much. 5 miles, are you crazy? Like thinking that, not even knowing what 5K or 10K distance were like on the road or on trail. I was just saying 50 minutes is a lot. No, I can't do that. It's 10 minutes, warm up, and that's it, do my workout. So I started running more because I'm a martial artist. In order for you to earn every belt, you have to run a certain distance. That's kind of like a requirement.
Okay.
So you run, for example, you go in for purple, you run 3 miles.
Okay.
For blue belt, you run 4 miles. For blue belt, you run 6 miles. And it goes like that up to 10 miles. So I was like, how do I supposed to know if I can run 10 miles? I have a test that I'm supposed to run 10 miles. How do I supposed to know? So I went myself on the track and did, okay, 4 laps is 1 mile. So I did 40 laps, and then one time I did a half a marathon. So I came back so happy from home, and I told my son, hey, I just ran a half a marathon. He says, that doesn't count. You need to do a race, a half a marathon race, that count. I was like, okay.
I want to see that race medal.
Yeah. So let me tell you, it's funny. So I was like, okay, so I signed up, for a race. Where do I sign up? So we were like, okay, here. We signed up for a race, half a marathon. Didn't know if it was trail, road, or anything. It was a mix of both. Okay? So I did my first half marathon. My wife went to the race director and say, hey, how long does it take for somebody that runs the distance? And the race director tell her, it's his first time running? He says, yes. Oh, 4 hours. And then she sees me coming. She looks back and she sees me coming. I was like top 7, top 8, like an hour and 38, something like that. And my wife was like, oh, here he comes. And I was like, no way, that's too fast. So they checked every aid station if I really went on the course.
You cheated.
Yeah, they thought I cheated. No, I mean, like I say, I knew the distance in my mind. I knew my body knew it, but never done it officially. So that was my first half marathon. Let me tell you, for like a week, I walked like this. I couldn't even move. I didn't know. It's like, no, forget it. Now I understand why people say, if you want to change something in your life, run a marathon. And it's like, no, half a marathon is enough. That's it. And then eventually, you start hanging out with people that run longer and longer, and they start like, you want to be with them, you want to be like them. So I start doing adding and stuff like that. Challenges myself. Can I do this? Can I do that? And thank for everybody for the support, friends that always wake up early with you and go train, go run, is how I've been adding more and more and more distance, But it's been good.
What has your experience been like, sort of being initiated into this world? So you mentioned 2020, so you haven't been doing this that long. How did you find SFRC? How did you decide, you know what, sounds great, I'm gonna run the Boston Marathon, then I'm gonna do 100K? Like 15, 3 years ago, you're saying like, I'm not even gonna do 15 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, like I say, it's been the people, it's been the community that has been like, you tell them what you do and they tell you, well, if you did this, why you don't try that, and they don't just tell you do it, they're behind you, helping you, which is, this is the community that help us to grow, like, I didn't know I can do this, I didn't know my legs can do that. I don't even know what kind of shoes or this. I was just buying shoes and they put some blisters, returned them, didn't like them. I didn't know that it was normal. So I've been learning a lot, and then you hear like, oh, you can put some tape, you can put some Vaseline, you can do this, you can do that. So you start learning little by little with everybody giving you little tips about what to do and stuff. So I guess I have a lot of friends that have been running like you guys, college, middle school, college, high school and stuff. And right now some of them are hurt and they can't even run the distance. And they tell me, your legs are fresh. Your legs are not beat like us because we've been running longer. Maybe. I don't know what to say or how to answer to that, but maybe my legs are not as big, you know.
So I'm so fascinated by the martial arts having like a run requirement. So like I'm curious, what do they say is the relationship between the two? And in your experience, what has been the relationship between the two?
It is actually good. Let me tell you why. Because the kids not only go through a hard belt test every time they go, they have to be physical prepared, and the running help them to achieve that fitness level. So a black belt test is really hard. It lasts 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. So running 10 miles, it gives you that fitness. That's what a lot of boxers do. You see them, I don't know, you see the commercials, when they train, they run. They don't run fast, but they jog for 2 hours, 3 hours. So it's similar, you know, you have to prepare the body fitness-wise to take them to that beating, you know. It gives you that second win when you need it. Never heard of second win until like I was doing it, like, oh, second win. So that's what the boxers find. They're fighting and they're like beating and stuff, 7 round, 8 round, they come back to life because of the running, you know. So it helps with the body to have the fitness, prepare the body so they can have the fitness to go through a hard test, you know.
What about the mental component? I mean, running can be so difficult mentally, just trying to get to the end. How does that relate to?
Yes,
I feel like there's got to be a lot of mental discipline in martial arts.
Well, this is the thing. Martial arts is individual. Is your own goals, your own focus. You can't copy anybody. It's you. Whatever your moves are, whatever your body lets you do your moves, that's your body. So the mental part, in this case, when it's on the running, same thing. You have people that run with you. Let's say you don't want to go for a run, but there's your friend like knocking your door, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm here outside. Let's go. All right. So you don't want to let him down. All right, let's go. So it's okay. Then after you finish, it's like, thank you. It felt better after. So I guess the mental part goes either way. You know, like you're doing martial arts solo, but there's people along with you, taking the same test, doing the same thing. Everybody at their level, everybody gets tested and get criticized by what they can do. There's nobody's gonna, let's say, nobody's gonna give me whatever I get because the other person is better than me. You know, this is what I can do, so they give me what I get for what I can do. You know. So I guess the mental part helps when there's people around with you, people along with you, either running or any other sport. There's always people with us, you know. They help us. Coaches, friends, they're with us helping us to grow.
Yeah.
Is that answer?
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
great. Yeah. How does the community, you know, feel similar or different, like from martial arts and like the other things that you do to the run community?
Well, it's different. The running community is a lot more fun.
Okay.
You get to
Fun.
be your body and stuff. You know, you're running. You go out early in the morning, flashlights, headlamps, run up and down the mountain, get dirty. You fall, get up, sunrise, and a lot. And the martial arts is just you train, you prepare yourself. You go to a tournament, you really actually hang out with people, but for really short period of time. You actually hate the other people, you know. You want to beat them, you want to not hate them, but you like.
Yeah.
Let's say you and I are friends, but we belong to a different schools, and we have to fight each other. Guess what? I have to beat you. I'm sorry. You know, it is how it is. And here in our running community, it's like, yeah, maybe you can beat me, but I don't care. We just go together, you know. There are faster people running with slow people. That's what makes it fun, you know, like, thank you for waiting, you know.
Yeah.
You mentioned your first race was a mix. You didn't know if it was road or trail, and it was a mix. And we mentioned, you know, we're primarily road runners, but like to dabble in trail. Like, what has the mix of road and trail been like for you, and how do you identify?
Well, this is my own personal opinion about that. I think this is me, when I train road, if I train for 10 miles, because of the hard surface, I think my body is trained for double. Versus if I go to trails and train 10 miles, my body is trained for 10 miles. Like if I train road because of the beating of the hard surface, it beats my body more that I can last longer on trails. So the combination of both has been helping in my running a lot. Like now I used to just say, oh, just trails, I'm just trails. I hate road. No, I like both. You know, both of them is like, they go hand to hand. One give you the other one, one give you what the other one doesn't give you, and the other way around.
I love that perspective. I think that I've actually felt the fittest when I've balanced the two much more than just focusing on one. So I love hearing, you know, that you had an amazing race at Boston. Yeah, like, I mean, Mimi and I, we're road runners, and Mimi and I have never nailed those last miles the way that you did. Can you tell us about what happened? I mean,
it was that descent down. That's what we're doing wrong.
I know. I know. Okay, we gotta hit Tam hard.
I think it was all the training. I trained on purpose the way I wanted to perform, which was, let's say I had 10 miles or 15-mile training run. So my goal was to do the first half slow, like holding, and the second half faster. For the second half, I always take caffeine. So just a reminder to wake up my body and to have the leg turnover, which not the whole time happens. Sometimes the caffeine doesn't click in, doesn't work, and you end up even suffering even more, or working the last mile when you're like, I don't need it anymore. But I guess, yes, so I trained the body like that, like I was doing 8 miles, and 4 were like at 8:30, and the other one's supposed to be like 7:45, so at least 45 seconds faster. But the first ones were like a sub 8, and I was like, no, I'm supposed to go slower. But the other ones were like sub 7. I was like, okay, well, it levels out, you know, like I'm just running by feeling, not really running by looking at my watch, which I normally do. I run by the way I feel. You know, and that's what happened. I guess the caffeine and actually the training, preparing my body. I did 3 workouts like that, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast. And it helped me that day, because when I was needed the speed after Heartbreak Hill, I was like, see you later, and took off, and the body responded, you know, that I took 2 caffeine goose.
Yeah. Can you imagine feeling good at the top?
No,
of that
I
race?
black out.
I like never felt good at that moment in that race. It's amazing.
I black out between mile 20 and 25 of that race every
just
time.
Hit no sign, and then I don't know what happens.
I was just hoping not to cramp, because that can happen.
Yeah.
I did one training run where I run 21 miles, 21 and a half, with no water, 0 water. I have my water bottle, but it's like I'm gonna see how far I can go without water. I didn't drink water. I was eating every 4 miles, but I didn't drink water at all. I was like maybe quarter of a mile to my house. It's like, okay, I have the water, so I'm gonna drink it. And I drank the whole thing. So on Boston, I knew mentally that I can run 20 miles without water. But it's like, okay, I'm not gonna carry anything. I'm just gonna go. And if I need water, I can grab water. So my goal was to get to mile 15 and start drinking water. So I started drinking water at mile 12. It's like, I'm not gonna be that cocky guy and not drink water. I think if I would hold it until 15, I would cramp.
Yeah.
Because I felt the need of water at 12. It's like, I'm gonna listen to my body, and this is what it wants. I start drinking water every now and then. When I got to mile 21, I start going. It's like, just hope I don't cramp. So I guess because I put water before, when I say I was gonna take it, I didn't cramp.
And I think too, it depends on the day. Like it was a cooler, like
we had two
damp
times
day.
we had like dumping buckets of water for like a minute and a half, and it stopped. And it was not cold. It was just perfect. Yeah, no wind.
That's great.
So everything helped, I guess.
Sounds like you're like still figuring things out from a nutrition perspective, hydration, like you're learning these lessons. Bridget was talking about the puzzle of the marathon. I think that's what keeps us coming back. Like, what are some other things that you're still continuing to learn?
Well, a lot. It's a lot. Every race is different, right? Whether we have hot races, like when I say hot, it's like too much heat, humid or rainy, cold courses. So every race I tackle it different. I always try to prepare how the race is gonna be, whether it's hot or cold or wind or rain. I don't like running in the rain. I do it if somebody's birthday. I do it. I do it if like really something is important. Other than that, nah, I go to the treadmill and I run at the treadmill, which is hard to run on the treadmill. I have run 250Ks on treadmill for fun. And that was on preparation for
fun.
That was in preparation for quad when we had fires. So it's like I can't go outside and run. So I went to the treadmill and I started running like 4 hours and change a 50K so I can train for quad. I did 2 times and that's it.
I did a 22 miler on the treadmill when the fires were happening, and I thought that was long. I was like, I'm a hero for this.
that is
I deserve an award.
It is long. It is long, but that's the only option you have for training. So it's like, you know what? That's the only thing I can have. I do it.
Wow.
So.
What's a goal for is it Miwok? What? Yeah. Wait,
No,
100K. No, 100K. Which one's coming up?
As 100K Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. That's right. So what does success look like, or what's the goal for that race?
Well, after Boston, I don't have expectations. I'm respecting the race, and I'm when I say respecting the races, I don't want to be like, oh, I just want to finish. No, but I really don't go for time. I just go and I want to finish. I want my qualifier. Let's say my goal race is another one. It's in July. It's Angels Crest 100, and that's the one I put like my training, my focus into it. So right now it's just like I'm continuing the training so I can just go to Quicksilver. I don't want to end up hurting or nothing, just want to finish it, but still I want to enjoy it. So I'm not putting any time down, like I want to finish sub 14, sub 15. No, I know I have 15 and a half, 16 hours cut off. I'm willing to use it. So I don't mind.
How did you end up finding SFRC and the people to knock on your door at 4 a.m. to get you there?
How do you find these lunatics?
They appear by themselves.
You do, right?
Well, this is the thing. We all work. Sometimes the only time we have for running is either early in the morning or really late after work. But when you're after work, you're already tired. You just want to go have dinner, and that's it. So the only thing we do or we have free is the morning. So I do in the morning because I don't sacrifice my family time, my kids, my wife time. I like to run in the morning so I can finish and still come back home for breakfast and stuff like that. So I don't sacrifice that time. And when they see you running at that early in the morning, somebody else, hey, what time you running tomorrow? Can I come with you? Okay. So we start making groups of people. We meet up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30 to run before work. Yeah. You know, and that's the best part. So, and SFRC was actually because of that group. We have a group that we call them the Ninja group, because we run the Ninja loop. It's not the same loop as Demon Janko and Larissa, because it's a little drive if we go all the way to the bridge, but we start in Tennessee Valley. It's similar, you know, it's the same. And we start 30 minutes before them. They used to start at 5. We used to start 4:30. Nice. So now it's like, if it happens that we have time to meet at 4:30 and we all agree, we all go for 30. If not, there's another group, same group of us, they say, oh, I can only do a 5 because 4:30 is a little early. So 5 o'clock. Okay, 5 o'clock. So we have these groups of people and we meet up and end up running. So Jessie, which is here somewhere there, she's the one that introduces to SFRC and stuff. So.
What does your family think of this?
Well,
like what happened to Dad? Like what COVID came and like he got a different kind of virus?
That was actually, I think, a motivator for the little ones when they were little. My daughter was 13 when she ran her first 50K with Way Too Cool. Wow. And my son was 14.
We gotta interview her.
And my daughter was 14 when he finished Way Too Cool. So it was my son, and then I think 2 years after, my daughter. And then my wife ended like, can I run a way too cool? It's like, you don't even run. Okay, so I start helping her and she ended up running way too cool. So we all four have finished way too cool as a 50K first time. We all did that 50K as a first time long distance run.
That's amazing.
Have they like? That's got to be some sort of. You have to get some prize for that, like some family prize.
Well,
I don't know.
they get motivated, I guess, when they hang out. They hang out with me the whole time. We do a lot of things together. So, like I say, I guess because they want to hang out with me, it's like, please go for a run. Can I go with you? Can you train me? Can you help me? So we end up doing things together. Now my son is 22, my daughter is 19. So that's 6 years. You know, like that wasn't recently, but.
So they started doing it before you?
The running?
Yeah.
No.
Oh no. Okay.
No, it was me. But like I say, they're also martial artists. They both black belts. So the running comes with it, you know. So with the running, they have to do the distance. So it's like, can I do this? Can I do that? Yes, let's do it. You know. So
That's great. Do you find, so you were saying with the martial art, you get competitive in those tournaments. Do you get competitive running? Racing?
No, really.
No.
I'm out there, always try to take everything in, like enjoying the moment, because I don't know if tomorrow, next day, I'm gonna be healthy to do it again. So I always high five people, clap to them, or throw jokes at everybody. I always say thank you to the volunteers, the aid station. Always put my phone out, take pictures or video or and selfies or where I'll try to take everything in. If I were competitive, I would be like, just slow me down, see you later. No, but I don't. I mean, Boston, because it's I wanted to qualify again. So I have to go a little faster. I set up my watch for 3:20. So it's like my qualifier time is 3:25. So 3:20 gives me 5 minutes cushion if I'm behind. So I end up 7 minutes faster than 3:20.
You crushed that goal.
Yes.
And you still did all the things. You high-fived, you soaked it in from what I can tell. So that's amazing.
Put my phone out like 4 times.
I love that.
Yes. So I was having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an amazing race. I had somebody that went with me the whole way, which was make them more fun.
Someone you met, like on the bus?
No,
or
a friend
on
of mine from
oh,
here.
a friend from
somewhere,
here.
Bradley
I'm
Trainer.
like, just some,
Yeah,
person
we run
you met.
together from
Okay.
here, from beginning until 18, 19, something like that. Something like that. We stay together,
Something
stay
like
together,
that.
stay together. We were leapfrogging. We were like, you hungry? Yes, go grab your gel. And I was waiting, and we were leapfrogging the whole time. You know?
That's great. We've got lots more questions, and
Go
I
ahead.
love talking to you, but I want to we have an audience here, which is like so fun. Are there any questions that people want to shout out? Yes, please.
Because I think this is one of the accomplishments that you've done that really stands out to me, was your Diablo TAM. So I was wondering if you could just tell us, because I think a lot of people don't maybe know about that, and it like blows their mind. If you could just, one, how did you come up with it, and just tell us a little bit about that experience. And just,
we're gonna-
tell us what it is first.
Oh, okay. Diablo TAM. I call it TDDT 110 because that's Diablo TAM, 110 miles.
Wow.
And that came out as an idea when we always go up to TAM and you see the sun rising at Mount Diablo. And he's like, how far is that? Can I go?
You guys are crazy.
How far is that? So, and then we started having like conversations about it would be nice to start here and finish there. So I started looking into Strava, making routes, and then I see somebody, boom, went and did it like 18 hours. And I was like, okay, he did a 63-mile route. So I'm gonna check the routes. No, this one's shorter, 55. Oh, I can do that one. So and I start, it took me a year to put it together.
Wow.
A year.
Yeah.
Because I was checking sections of every part of the distance, the course. And then it took me a year to select the people. Everybody that was there was selected because for the love of what they do, which is the running, for the love of helping somebody else. So I select people from Marine, so they don't have to cross the bridge and stay here. I select people from Berkeley so they can stay in Berkeley, and I select people from Walnut Creek so they can all crew me along the way. Well, the people in Marine end up in Walnut Creek and Berkeley and everywhere. So, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I start biking. I start checking the route on bike, on running. Asking people, hey, you have permit to go through this trail? Yes, can we all together to check this trail? And then I get my permit myself so I can run on those trails. And then I put a date. One day we were running Mount Tam, I think. Don't remember what was happening that day. Anyway, we got to the top, and I told my friends, I put a date for this crazy idea, because they all knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
They knew, but they didn't know when, or like, this guy's crazy. But they didn't know that my idea was coming back. They thought I was just going.
You added another layer of crazy.
Yeah, so I say I'm doing this, and they were like, what? You coming back? So on the way back, I tried to tell a couple of friends if they want to do it with me, but at the same time, when they were coming back, I say, you're not doing this for free. You're gonna get a FKT door-to-door Diablo to Tam. So you're not doing it free. You're gonna get it, your FKT. Okay. So that was male and female, both FKTs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they paced me the way back all the way.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was insane. Like,
Did it all go right? Like, what's something that stands out from that day?
everything.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, the people that were with me at the beginning, the people that I have during my crewing time, my family, the people that I have when I finish, like the people that started with me and went with me all the way the first 10, 15 miles. So everything was, if you tell me to highlight the best part, everything. And I can tell you every mile and every section, because I did it myself, the route, so I know where every mile clicks. And I know where to put every single aid station if somebody wants to do it. The route is out there. I don't know if you guys seen Ricky Gates and Dylan Bowman Lost Coast Trail. So the buckle that Dylan Bowman get from Ricky Gates from doing it faster, it's not the same, but I'm giving that buckle away for a female or male that does it and come and do it. And I'm here willing to help them either come back all the way or set up the stations or whatever they want. The buckle is there, my wife has it. But I have another.
You gotta wave it around here.
I have another buckle that my friends awarded me with.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
So that's the buckle that I'm not giving it away.
Yeah.
But if somebody comes and do 110 miles, they will get that buckle. I'm not a race director. I'm just, because I want them to achieve what I did.
Isn't
is
that,
great.
I love that. I think it's it speaks to like the community that you set this thing up, you had an idea, and when you asked for help or when you asked do people want to join in.
They were selected.
Well, okay, yeah.
And also we didn't want to put it out there like in the public because it was the pandemic.
Yeah,
So
right.
we didn't want to have a lot of people, but the ones that were part of it, they were there from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And one of our friends from Walnut Creek, she was like, you know what, thank you so much for bringing this vibe again. We need like the feeling of being on a race, helping somebody else and doing it. This is amazing, like the accomplishment. Like it was not me, it was everybody. I don't take this personal, like I did it. No, it was everybody that helped me. That was there. So my friends awarded me with a different buckle. The same distance, let's say the same race. It's not a race, but they give me a different buckle, which is, that one is the one I'm going to keep.
Okay. As the inaugural, as
Yes.
the founder of this
Yes.
crazy idea.
But like I say, it's out there. Whoever wants to do it, the route is there. It's actually, there's a segment from out and back, and there's a segment actually made for the back only. You know, so once somebody take the crown down, it's like, oh, I just gotta go and give him a buckle. You know?
Love it.
I think someone should just like ask you and like dare you to do that in the bar.
That's true. You guys, I'm a sucker for a dare.
I'm gonna go check out the route. Yeah, 'cause just to know, gosh, it's incredible.
It is actually, if somebody wants to try it, it's out there. It's just 75, 78 miles of road. So just train for a lot of road. That's it. You know, it's the trails you can take in, but the road is hard.
Did you start at the depot in Mil
Yes,
and
and-
went up to Melfa?
Yes.
And then down,
Down all the way,
not to Melfa.
down Tamalpa all the way to the road, and then take a left on Olre Road, and take the trails all the way to the DMB, and from the DMB continue on road all the way to Claremont and Berkeley. And then I climb Claremont, which is like 2,500 again, like Mount Tam. Come back down through Wonder Creek on road again, all the way to Mount Tam, through what's it called, Shell Ridge, all the way.
Finish at the depot.
And then I did the same thing backwards. So I just yes, up to 10, same way and back down. There's a few videos that's still running the last
Don't worry, I'm
the
not
last
trying to
section.
do it, I'm just-
What's the total ascent, Oscar?
The distance?
Ascent, yeah.
The distance?
Like Bert.
1600.
Thousands.
Yeah. So there's only one rule. There's only one rule. If somebody wants to do it, and like I said, I can help anybody to do it, and it's respect Mount Diablo, which is don't be out there during the night. I went there through the day, and I walked out when it was getting dark. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want nobody to get in trouble. So I know that a lot of people like to break rules. I don't. So if somebody do it, that's the only rule I will say, respect the mountain. I love the mountains and I respect them, all the rules. So
Love that.
that would be the only rule, you know, just start early like me. So we start, what time we start? 3:30? Early. Yeah, early. So there's, Ace, which is my coach, Jesse and Freud, we started all three together that day.
That's great.
They all run, they run with me the first 10 miles. Ace went with me to the bridge and he's the one actually posted it out. Like running with this guy, he's doing this, and everybody was like, what? And my phone started beeping, ping, ping, ping. and that day I say, I'm not answering any phone call, text or nothing if it doesn't come from my son or from my wife. So anything you guys need, tell them. And if they call me, it's something that I really need.
Right.
My phone was there and I didn't do anything. So it was really fun. Like putting the whole community together to achieve that is amazing. I mean, I wish I can give buckles to everybody that was there to help me, you know, but it was amazing. So they were still waiting. Like Jessie went all the way to Walnut Creek.
Jesse.
She followed me. She was at Berkeley, Walnut Creek, and on the way back, and she still waited for me.
I slept a little in between though, like I took a nap. You were still running.
Yeah, and Ace, my coach, he went with me all the way to the bridge and waited for me when I came back and waited for me when I came down. Freud went for me the first 10 miles. He was my first aid station at mile 10. And then he went to the bridge to get me back. And he wanna give me something. I say, no, the aid station is over there, it's not here. He wanted to give me already food and coffee and stuff. I said, no, the aid station is at the DMV. He's like, okay. So it's the room. You know? So when I got to the DMV, I have more people waiting for me. You know?
How did you feel like towards the end of it? Were you happy to be done, or were you sad that this thing that you had planned for a year was ending?
I don't know. It was it was an achievement. Like I felt happy that I was able to complete it. But then I was like, I always tell my wife and my friends, like, why you guys let me do this? Like why you guys don't say no? Don't do it. Don't do it.
I helped him too when he was planning it and put it up together. He put me the chart and then he put attempt. And when it was done, I gave it to him, and then he said, "But you forgot to attempt." And then I said, "No, this is not an attempt."
You're doing it.
So I do all the, let's say all the aid stations. Everything was timed correctly, that I was on the aid station with the time I say I was gonna be. Like I know myself how I run, and I was like perfectly on time. So I put attempt, DDDT, 110, blah, blah, blah. When she gave it to me in a computer and stuff, she gave it to me and said, but what is the attempt? She said, like, you're not attempting, you're finishing. And I was like, okay. Yeah, so that is one of the good things, you know, that I always had people, friends, everybody's there to help and support in any way. They don't tell me no, and I guess they trust in me more than sometimes I trust myself.
Yeah.
They believe in me more than sometimes I believe myself.
Yeah.
You know, like I have doubts about, can I do this? Can I do that? Yes, you can do it. Just, you know, just do this, just do that. You can do it. So I guess they give me that confidence.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I'm able to, like, okay, let's do it. Let's see what
Amazing.
happens.
I have one question.
Yes.
I've seen your Strava. You have a lot of swimming, biking, any attempt of doing Ironman stuff?
Oh.
No, I like an exclusive Oscar Ironman. You know, like, I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, so
Since you asked.
last quad, Bradley invited me to do a double quad. You know, like let's do a double quad. So you do a quad before the quad. All right, let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? Let's do it. So we work together, and we, you know, through the night. You finish a quad. Boom, when everybody starts, you start the second quad. For us, it's the second quad. For everybody else, it's the first quad.
They're fresh.
So
Gosh.
I had this crazy idea to do a double CIM, which it was start at night, run CIM backwards, and then come back with everybody in CIM. But I didn't do it because it was raining. I didn't want to.
You did on the
See,
treadmill.
I told you.
It wasn't anyone's birthday.
Yeah, and it was nobody else's birthday or something. So I didn't do it. But I did California Ironman back in October. Back in October. And same thing. I had this group of friends, the triathletes here. They, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do it. All right, let's do it. So I don't want to say nothing bad about any sport, but when I finish, it's like that's it. Yes, I could do more.
Are you the first person to ever finish an Ironman? That's it.
No, because I guess because we run the hundreds, we're thinking we have to go through the night, and then, you know, sunrise again, and then you're like finishing. And I guess that's what my mind was thinking, that I still have to do more. So we look into, what's it called? Mega Man? Ultraman. Which is double the distance. But it was just to see.
I think I've heard about those. I think there was like a New York Times article
It's
about
double.
Yeah.
It is just not to prove
Mega
anything to nobody.
Yeah.
It's just to challenge yourself, maybe. Or maybe you don't want to be home that day, the whole day. You go and do one of
Maybe you
those.
don't want to be home. It's just really a great way to get out of the house.
I mean, if you go back, you go out, get your bike and go out and ride 5 hours, 6 hours, you're back home. You go swim, you swim 2 hours, you're back home. You know, you go run 5 hours, 6 hours, you're back home. If you run long, 3 hours, you're back home. But when you do one of those events, you're out there all day. You know, meeting new people, making new friends. And I guess one of those. I'm not saying I'm doing anything like that. The Ironman was one and done. I wanted to.
It was too easy.
No. It was just like one and done. That like I want to see what's it feel, what it is. Never done one of those. I know I can swim. I know I can bike. I know I can run. I want to challenge myself to finish one, but I don't think it's a different world. Yeah. The running community, I think we are more humble, more friendly. Like I said, I don't want to say nothing bad about any sport, but on the swimming, you can be really talking to anybody.
Yeah.
You're swimming. On the bike, everybody gets their bike and they take off. On the run, same thing. We all run, do different paces. We have different bikes, so everybody do their own. So I guess that's why I didn't feel that
Community.
That community.
Yeah.
It's a lot of amazing people, a lot of amazing athletes, but it's not like us. We don't care about pace. We don't care about what you wear. We don't care about how fast you go. We're there helping each other, and that's what I love from the running community.
Oh, I love that. Any other? Yeah.
One last question, or maybe after that. It's not even that good, but I'm like, so you love to run with friends most of the time, but when you happen to run alone, let's say in a long race and you're alone and it gets tough, what do you think about? What
Well,
is your...
I do the whole thing. Like I run with friends a lot, you guys know it, but I also separate myself and run solo because of the races. Like it's gonna happen that I'm gonna find myself alone. So I do train solo sometimes, or a lot of times, you know. Or I run with people that we don't have the same workout. So I try to do my workout while we're running, which it doesn't look okay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's go for a 10-mile run, and you wanna go chilling, and I wanna do sprints. So I go out and back, and you're like, what is this guy doing? I thought we were just running. So I try to separate myself sometimes and do both. You know, I do friends, I do socials, but I also do like solo. So because of the races, you find yourself alone. Until you pick up your pacer, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know.
What are you thinking about during those solo times?
What do I think? This sucks. What am I doing this? What am I trying to prove? I mean, the normal. I guess everybody thinks that. I don't know you guys, but I think like.
You heard of positive thinking. It might.
I don't know. It's just, you know. I mean,
it's
it's true.
hard.
I don't
Yeah.
think something else. It's like, oh man, this sucks. But let me tell you, I have never think of. My think is like, if somebody's hurting bad, I'm dropping. But in my mind, even if I'm feeling like really bad, in my mind hasn't crossed the drop yet. Not yet. I know it's gonna happen someday. Who, when, I don't know. What race, I don't know. But I know someday it's gonna happen. And you know, we have to be prepared for that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the normal, I think what normal people think, this sucks. My feet hurt. What am I trying to prove? What am I doing here? What this? What that? But not in a bad way, you know. Like it's part of the pain cave, or part of that pain cave, and it lasts as much as you want it to be complaining. If you complain to yourself too much, it can last 3 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles. If you get to your crew and you start whining and complaining, it continue expanding. But if you snap it out as soon as you see your people and you forget. You know, I guess it's what normal.
It's normal.
Everybody
Normal,
thinks.
yeah.
No?
I think so. Stefan Hassan, who just won the London Marathon, like, I mean, I don't think we can relate to her in a lot of ways, like, you know, Olympia, all of that. But I think she told a story about how she like woke up the morning of the race and texted her agent or something and was like, why the hell did I decide to do this? And was like crying. And I'm like, yep, we've all been there. And during the race, you know, and there's thoughts of dropping out. Why am I here? This hurts. And how do we override that?
So I guess the training runs, that's what makes everything override. So we put a lot of time and effort. We spend money to train, because even when you're training, you're still buying goods, you're still buying socks, shoes, and stuff. So it's nothing free. So we spend and we put a lot of time, money, effort, waking up early, driving to run, or whatever you do to kind of just come to race day and say, what am I doing this? I mean, I'm doing it because I love it. You know, this is part of the process of doing what I love to do, you know? So it hurts, but like I say, it's not a negative, it's normal, you know? I guess everybody thinks like that when they feel like crappy, like, what am I doing this? But it's normal, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like you have a good perspective on like, that pain cave is only as much as you kind of like let yourself sit there, but also that, you know, you can have a second wind. Like no emotion on a run is permanent for the most part. Like 1 mile feels shitty, the next feels okay, the next is like, I'm kind of zoned out. You know, it changes. And that's, you know, remembering that when you're in one of those.
In case something hurts, you know, something hurts.
Exactly.
Like we were doing a race in Oregon, Pine Palm, and my IT band was having problems. It hurt a lot. So I have a friend of mine was helping me with massages, with pump pressures. When I was in the station, just go like this, do like that, okay. And I was going. So, But it's part of it, you know.
Yep.
You're beating your body, even if you train well, you're beating your body, you go into the unknown.
Yeah.
Just thinking that what you did was what you need to finish.
Yeah.
You never know when it's too much, you never know when it's not enough or it's enough. You never know.
Yeah. It's a privilege to be able to, you know, get out there, race, see what you're capable of. Yeah. Do you want to?
Should we wrap?
Should we wrap up?
Any
Should
other
we-
questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a wrap up, Oscar, you've mentioned a lot of community support. A lot of people, I heard some stuff about some double quads and things like that. I would love for the viewers on YouTube to be able to see your community that you've run with,
yeah.
people that have been supporting you, people you've been running double quads with, to all come up into the frame, maybe give you a big old hug. And then I know that you have some
That means you. You gotta get it up there.
I'm ready.
Oh, and this is the other buckle.
Yeah, no, you can't give that one away.
Love you, greetings from Mexico.
Do it.
Enrique, Oscar, message from YouTube to you.
I've never run with this.
But you guys gonna run with me. Oh, you're going Andrea. It's like 90% of the people that help me at the town Diablo town here. It's like
Amazing.
reunion.
I love that.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So, okay, last question, then we'll do some rapid fire. When you think about your relationship to running in the next 50 years, what does that ideally look like for you?
Whew. I don't know. I just hope to be able to continue running. Maybe not long distance, but continue either running. But I would love to help people achieve their goals. You know, like if I'm not able to run, but I want to be part of their goals, their achievements. Like if somebody comes to me like, hey, can you help me out to do a 50 mile, a 50K, a 100 mile, whatever. Yes, I have the knowledge because I have done that. Maybe I can help you. And that way, if I'm not able to run, be part of their achievement. Like when friends of us are always running, you inside them are like feeling what they're feeling when they're running. And we always checking, you know, he crossed this aid station, he's here, he's there, he's going fast, he's going too slow. So you living what they're living. So I want to maybe do that when I get older and I'm not able to run, or maybe run little, maybe be part of that. Help others to achieve.
I love that. I mean, even when you and I were talking before the podcast started, just you recounting Boston, like I was getting those like chills. I got goosebumps because I know what that feels like. And, you know, runner to runner, it's so easy to get wrapped up in someone else's goal, run. And I think that is the power of, like, even when we're injured, some of us are injured, you can still get really excited and feel really connected. So this community is so lucky to have you.
Yes.
And, you know, thank you for being here and
Thank you, guys.
sharing your story. We have some fun rapid fire questions. Mimi, do you want to?
Oh, we're gonna like
You
switch it up. All right. I didn't practice. All right. Favorite place for a long run in the Bay Area?
Marine Headlands.
I mean, now I'm like, what is long?
Pacific Crest Trail, that's the long run now? Okay.
What's the distance from here to Oregon? Okay. If you could go on a long run with anyone, who would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one. Because I have so many friends that I run with long distance, that it's hard to pick one. You know, like with everybody, I think I run long enough to get along with them. I can go with anybody, the people that were here.
What if it's, someone you don't know? If you could go on a long run with someone you don't know, do you have like a...
Yeah, I think I can go. Yeah. I mean...
Who would it be?
Huh?
Someone you don't know, who would it be? Like...
Is it like a musician
anyone
or
in
a
history?
runner?
I don't know, maybe a singer. you know, maybe a singer so I can ask questions.
Learn some
about-
breathing techniques.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Okay.
Swift.
I've decided. All right. What's your favorite local race?
Quad.
Quad. Double quad? Just single quad?
That is not a race yet. Until maybe Bradley makes the double quad
Yeah.
official, maybe will be a double quad race, but quad is enough.
Okay. Finish this sentence. When I'm not running, you can find me.
In the gym.
All right. What's your favorite, like, what, you could do one exercise.
Oh my gosh. Okay, burger, amazing.
What was harder, eating the burger or running the Boston Marathon? The burger, yeah.
Okay.
Under pressure.
Amazing.
the size of almost my face.
That sounds perfect. Well, Oscar, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been such a joy to get to know you. Thank you for being part of this community. We're excited to follow you and, you know, hear about like any other crazy, not so crazy things
Anytime.
that you're doing. Yeah,
Invite me for a run.
Definitely.
I'm up for a run all the time.
perfect.
Running and push-ups.
Yes.
We're doing it.
I need to work my way up. Like, I still do the, you know, modified.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
Thank you.
So I'd like to say, if anybody knows of anybody interesting, like Oscar, or anybody else they'd love to hear from during this series, we have a few open spots. So feel free to contact us through email or give us a call over here or talk to me right now. It's great. Matt, you've already got suggestions.
We'll take
Also,
nominations.
Thank you, Nike, for the food and the beverages. Everybody help yourself to it.